A young woman in Woolwich, whose mother died when she was 14, is calling for better intervention and support for children who lose a parent.
My name is Proscovia Kongai, I'm 22 and I live in Woolwich. When I was 14, my mother died. Of course, for the whole family, it was a deep shock because she had come out of hospital and she was gaining her health back, but then she fell back ill again and then passed away from cardiac arrest. It wasn't really, we didn't really speak to each other much. After the funeral, we were expected to go back to school as if it was normal. I had about 2 counselling sessions and that was it. What I think schools should have is more long-term support for those that are suffering bereavement. Because at the time I felt really alone. You just ended up suppressing it rather than dealing with it. It took me years to realise that there are actually charities that solely help children that are bereaved.
My father passed away when I was 11 years old and I didn't get any support from school or anybody around school.
I do think that common ground support is very helpful in the grieving process. They know exactly what you've been through. I do feel that we need to break down the taboos that are around death.
A group of young people in Haverfordwest is calling on employers to open their doors to people with disabilities because in Wales only 43% have a job.
My name is Raymond Lilligrup. I am 20 years old and I live in Pembrokeshire. I did well in school and in college, and yet for many years I found it very difficult to find work. Now I work as an office administrator in a factory which employs and supports people with all types of disabilities. I really do like my job. We do get along really well. Some of us do gardening for Scott Manor. We got lots to offer.
Anybody can work, irrespective of their disability or support need, if they have the right training and support. For example, people on the autistic spectrum can learn very complex jobs.
When I went to job interviews and they sort of turned me down, it felt like I was not wanted. But since I've been here, I've been more confident. It'd be nice to see more people with disabilities get work.
Ashley Parker from Brighton is reminding young people about the benefits of friendship with older people.
Most of my friends, as you'd expect, are in their 20s, but I also have friends who are a lot older than me.
Double word. Nice. Wow.
We do completely different things, but they're still things that I really enjoy. When I was about 17 years old, my mum worked at a care home. I found I really enjoyed the company of older people. I now volunteer for the neighbourhood care scheme in Brighton, and I've been seeing various people over the years.
Ashley's sort of getting out there and encouraging younger people to befriend older adults. When they have somebody come to them and visit them, it definitely lifts their mood.
It gives me a sense of self-worth, that I'm worth somebody, some young people coming to see me.
Okay. I know it sounds like such a cliche when people say, oh well, making somebody happy makes you happy, but when you can honestly look back on somebody's life, that you've made their lives just that little bit better, it's such a good feeling to know that you've done that for somebody else, and that's what's so beneficial. It makes you feel so good.
2 sisters from Hackney who've been caring for their mum since she had a major stroke 8 years ago are urging other young carers not to give up on their own education and dreams.
We were a normal, happy family until Mum had a stroke in 2009.
When our mum came back from hospital, our lives changed instantly. We had so much more responsibilities, taking care of our brother, the house, our mum and ourselves.
It's very easy when you're at school to just be thinking, I want to go home and make sure everything's all right. Lots of young carers don't complete their education. You need to keep in mind that you are no good to anyone if you're not educated.
Now, Scott Parker from Brighton is part of a family with a difference. He was a young mother from Sussex, now living as a man and awaiting a sex change operation.
In April this year, we became proud parents of our daughter, Sarah. Me and my partner are both transgender. We were born female, but we both identify as male. Ron and I are 2 dads with a baby, and a lot of people struggle with that idea. We need to learn to accept any parents that just love their child.
still a lot of stigma out there, still a lot of discrimination, even in 2017. There are more transgender parents now, and increasingly will be so. I think Scott's doing a really great thing.
I hope by doing this project, other people would then feel safe to pursue the family that they want and feel safe in doing so, and that society will acknowledge that this is just people trying to live their life, trying to make a family.
Now, a young man from Coventry who struggled in school because of autism is urging other disabled young people to stay ambitious and to fight to make a success of life despite whatever expectations others may have of them.
When I was 6 years old, I was diagnosed with autism. I hated having the label autistic. I kept it secret all through secondary school. Only the teachers knew. Looking back on it, it feels like the wrong decision. I should have just embraced the fact that I am autistic, because the stress of keeping up the lie that I am just someone in the crowd, it's not good. Lots of things at school made me anxious. The people, the playground. I always just like to be alone. I like to be out of that chaotic situation and just be in my own kind of peaceful environment. And that was my way of escaping. It was my way of coping with school life. At my worst, I wouldn't talk to people. I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't eat. And that was all as a result of trying to fit in. My schoolwork, it just really went downhill. That pushed me even deeper into this bad place. He can't cope with schoolwork. That's kind of what the message was to my mum. We don't think he's got the mental attitude, really, to go on to sixth form college.
If we don't challenge and change these attitudes, we have statistics that are showing that 13 million disabled people in the UK are unemployed, and unknown numbers are in low-skilled, underemployed jobs which are wasting their talents and skills.
I was written off, in a sense, that it was kind of like, you're not going to achieve whatever disability you've got. That doesn't define your life.